Hermitcraft Infinity.
And here we are back at the Pentagon. As you can see, I've gotten the outer walls 2 blocks high all the way around, and a set of inner walls the same shape, 2 blocks high. The idea there was mostly to keep the mobs out. I got the place lit up and so on, and I'm set up for getting started with a little bit of stuff. As you can see, I've got some Botania stuff set up here, and I didn't cover any of this in video at the because it's really very straightforward parts of it. Everything that I did is right here in the Lexic Botania. I made up a bunch of these day blooms, a few of the nightshade. The day blooms generate mana in the daytime, the nightshade at night. And I made up a couple of these endo flames that they generate. Oh, not living wood, no. There we go. Block of coal. You toss a block of coal down, and that plant sucks it up and starts burning it to generate mana. And I've got another one over here, and they generate a fair amount. I've got a couple of mana spreaders. They're both pointed. Well, if I get out the wand of the forest, if I can click properly and select that, and you can see that they're both generating, and they're sending it into this mana pool, which has a fair amount of juice in it now. Under the mana pool, I've got this alchemy catalyst that gives it some additional capabilities. Let's see. No, I don't have any here. I ran into a shortage of glowstone a while ago, and I discovered that if you've got that alchemy catalyst down there under the mana pool, and again, it's all right there in the Lexic Botania, it makes it all very clear, shows you things, shows you examples and everything, explains it very nicely, that if you drop glowstone into the mana pool when you've got one of these under it, drop redstone into the mana pool when you've got that under it, you will get glowstone. On the other hand, if you drop glowstone in, you'll get redstone. But since I've got like 70,000 redstone in the AE system, I figured I'd drop a few stacks of redstone in there and get the glowstone back. Beautiful. Works like a charm. And it cuts out the need for a extra trip to the nether. I have a book that goes back to the spawn base. And of course there's this thing, the building guide. We're not going to need that anymore. But first, table, whack it with a wand, bingo. Now we've got what we need. Alright, leave the wand in there. There we go. 18 pedestals. Maybe more than I need, but I'm not so sure how many I'm going to need just yet. Alright, break that. And that's where I've placed my... Oh, I'm going to need to move that chunk loader down. No, just pop a piece of dirt on top of it. Alright. 1 pedestal goes right there. That's going to be the center of the infusion crafting setup. Alright, now I need some arcane stone brick. And looking at this structure, stone, brick, stone. Alright, great. And then a placeholder block. That's not what I meant to do. Yeah. And on top of this thing, we need the matrix, which is arcane stone, ender pearl, and 4 shards and 40 ordo. Alright, got what I need here. And let me go ahead and swap out my gear for the stuff that gives me a V discount. And that costs 40 ordo, and because of my fee discount, it will only cost me 36. Yeah. Okay, great. Here we go. And now, no, not there. Matrix there. Get rid of my placeholder blocks. And now we just whack this with a wand. And the Infusion crafting setup is now active. Alright, we'll be needing that soon. Alright, I took a few minutes there to recharge the wands and get an armor stand with with this setup here. So that's good. And now the next step in this is to get these pedestals put up. Now the key with the Infusion crafting is balance. So if I put 3 pedestals here, then I should put 3 more over here. And I'm going to do the same on this side and over on this side. And I'm going to pop 1 there. That should take care of any need for even the most complex Infusion crafting recipes. So, okay, now the next thing to do in the idea of balance, because some of the Infusion crafting recipes can have considerable instability, and the best way to combat that is putting things around the setup that helps promote stability. And one thing you can do is, actually no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make shards, or make a the mixed crystal cluster. And let's see. That's probably enough. Let's see. Alright, I'm gonna... Another thing you can use is like zombie heads, skeleton heads, things like that. The candles that you can make with the magic tallow. Yeah. That's probably actually more than I'm going to need initially. Alright, next up, I need to do a little bit more research here. Specifically, oh wait a minute, get my scribing tools and paper, dump some of this stuff. I'm going to get the research note for the silverwood wand core, because that is a much better wand. Alright, here's the solution I come up with for this one. A couple of rather long pathways here. Okay, silverwood wand core. Right click it, take a look, and it's with all these V shards plus a balanced shard and silverwood log in the arcane infusion setup. 9 each of all the aspects, moderate instability, and it can store up to 100 V. So that's definitely, absolutely worth doing. Alright, next, to go with that, Thaumium wand caps. So, I'll do the research for that. Okay, here's the result I came up with for this one. And let's have a look at our Thaumium wand caps entry. There we go. Basically, they have, because Thaumium is a magical metal, it handles things a lot better, but you need to craft the thing, the inert version, in the arcane workbench, and then they have to go through the infusion process to become fully activated and ready. So now we're going to get set up to do that. Okay, to make the Thaumium wand caps, we're going to need to use some Thaumium nuggets. like so. And that's going to be reasonably cheap to make those. And then, for the next phase, we're going to need some Salus Mundus. And to click on that to get this, and basically, you take balanced V shards and cook them in the furnace. Alright, to get the balanced shard, we look here, and you see it's basically any one shard in a crucible with all of the other aspects. Like, for example, if you're using an air shard, you would have all the other water, ordo, perdito, ignis, and entropy in there. And so, I'm going to look up the materials I need that will have those things in it, and we'll get started. Alright. The easiest, though not necessarily best way to do this, is we've got 6 of the basic shards here, and each one has 2 of whatever main type it has. So, since the recipe calls for 2 of the primals, 2 of each kind of primal, and 1 shard of the last one, what I'm going to do, and I'll do this quickly like so, basically 1 of each shard into the crucible should get me an order shard. Bang. And that got me a balanced shard. Alright, great. Now I'm going to do that several more times so that I have enough, and then I'm going to smelt them down in a furnace to get the Salus Mundus. Okay, now you can see that as I've been doing this, these shards all contain other things aside from just the ones I'm after. And that's got a bunch of leftover stuff that, as you can see, is slowly breaking down over time into the primal aspects. But it represents kind of a pollution problem. Now there is ways that you can later on actually only put exactly the items in there that you need. For right now, it's kind of hard to avoid that at first. And the only thing you can do is you can, okay, now that was some gaseous taint or flux that just went up the chimney there. That's the reason that chimney is there. I don't want it to stay in the room. So I'm going to shift right click with the wand, and that will empty out what's in the crucible. Create a mess that I can then blot up with some dirt. The problem is when picking up the dirt, you want to be careful that it doesn't fall into the crucible, especially if you have one that's being automatically refilled like this one. So that's basically what you have to do. Later on, like I said, there are ways to ensure that the only things that go into the crucible are exactly the amount of exactly the right ones that you need. And we'll get to that soonish. So, an unspecified amount of time later, I have produced 33 jars of essentia. I've got the 6 primal aspects and a good 27 or so others in varying amounts. And while that is not by any stretch all of them, I believe there is like 48 total, this is enough for what I have in mind today. Now, while I did think to go ahead and scan the alchemical furnace and the arcane alembics, let's see. There it is. I didn't scan any of this stuff. So, arcane pedestals. Okay, Infusion pillar. Okay, runic matrix. Oh yeah. Lots of stuff in that. Alright. Okay, now, let's get down to business making that great wood wand core. I've got some silverwood logs and a number of shards here that I'm going to need for the infusion. And let's put the Thermonomicon over here. There'll have to be 3 infusions. 1 for the wand core, with the silverwood logs, and 2 for the inert thaumium caps, because you have to do them one at a time. Okay, so we'll start off. Silverwood log goes in the middle. And then, according to the Thermonomicon, we're looking here. No, I need this. Balanced air, fire, water, earth, order, and entropy around the infusion setup. So, balanced. Let's see. Air, fire, water, earth, order, and entropy. Alright. Now, all I need to do is whack this thing with a wand, hit the runic matrix with a wand. It will start the process. And then what I need to do, and the reason I've got extras of everything on my hotbar here, is if something gets destroyed or knocked off the pedestal, I need to replace it right away. I've already ensured that there is more than enough of the appropriate kinds of essentia over there, so I won't be running out of that. I've got plenty of that, so let's go. Right click on that. And it starts pulling the essentia first. Air, ignis, aqua, terra. Okay, this got pulled off. See, I had one knocked off already. Have to put that back, or it just kind of has the potential for bad things happening. But if you keep an eye on what's going on, good. Okay, this is being sucked in now. So far, so good. Operation complete. And now we have the silverwood rod. So that's the core. And the first thing I'm going to do, scan that sucker. Alright, now it's time for the thaumium wand caps. And for that, we need the wand cap and 3 Salus Mundus around there, and some aurum and potentia, plenty of which are stored over here in jars. Okay, so wand cap, and this in a kind of a triangular pattern. Okay, whack this with the wand. Keep an eye on things and watch for stuff to get knocked off the pedestals or destroyed. That one's getting sucked in already. This one just got nuked. Alright. And we now have a charged thaumium wand cap. Alright. Let's repeat this process. By lightning. Now they're being consumed into the matrix. Operation complete. Alright. And now it should just be a matter of combining the rod with the 2 charged caps, and we'll need 54 V's, well, 51.3 of each kind. But let's shift right click there, swap that gear out, and now have a look. 48.6, which is a whole lot better because this wand only holds 50. So, bang, we now have this Botania embossed silverwood wand. Let's scan that thing. Alright, now this one can hold 100 of each kind of V. Excellent. Alright, now I am going to repeat this process again off camera to make a second one, because I believe in having at least 2 of whatever kind of wand. And then next time up, what I want to do is to get started on the first stage of automating the process of dealing with all these jars of essentia. Because, let me tell you, you don't want to have to do this completely manually every time. Every little bit of automation helps. And we'll be getting started with a little bit of automation on that with golems next time. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. I'm out of here.